if we are serving a program and the user like it, then we are doing something right. If the user don't like the program we are serving, so the recommendations and also the playlists we are creating here with people, real people sitting, creating a reference list, something like that. If we don't do it right and users say, we ban this track and more, then we are doing something wrong. And that's why there is no suggestion from our point how musicians or labels or content owners can tweak the music to be better recognized in the future. So I think the only advice is to concentrate on music, doing the right stuff. On the other hand, it's also, at the moment we have not that mass appeal. So if we say we are quite successful for us, we can compare our radio, for instance, with the biggest radio station in Germany, because they have 10,000s of listeners per hour, which we don't have at the moment. And that's why maybe also the traditional promotion companies are not that interested with working such niche services or with all these things, because at the end we of course can take every music into our program, but maybe this new music which somebody brings in is played only 3 times a month, and that means not 3 times to 10,000 of users, only 3 times to 1 user. And of course this sounds really, really low, but maybe these 3 times to 1 users, this was played to the right user. And this, I think, is something which has to be changed with this approach and in the mind of how people are using such services just like we. So if somebody with an interest in really niche US country music, if they are looking for music in Europe, they can't find anything because the record is not out. The guys are not touring here. But what can the people do who really love this kind of music? So they have to go maybe to US services, and then they are blocked from IP things. And but if you have 5 users maybe in Germany who are really interested in that music, they can start a country station. They can listening to US country music on AUPEO, and maybe these 5 people are the right people, and they will consume this music more and more, and they will talk about that. And maybe there are 10 the next day, and so you can do it with every fragment of the music genres. So there is, as I said, there is a limited number of channels for users, and that makes it a little bit difficult for promotion agencies or labels to understand how they can place music into such a system, because at the end really independent artists or really successful artists have not that much more place than the artists which you don't know, because you play that a lot of music. The step is quite easy. So first of all, we are actively choosing music. So we have a team of music managers which are talking about music the whole day. Every music manager has a special type of genre he is responsible for, and we are looking to all these things which are coming up in music blogs. We are reading all these magazines, and so I think our music managers are well informed, and they are actively choosing music, which we then acquiring for our catalog, digitizing, tagging, and making channels out of that, reference lists out of that. And sometimes users or musicians ask us directly, and we always say, okay, if you have an official release, send us your CD. We can, of course, put it into our catalog. There is one side we are choosing actively, so we are spending money on acquiring a catalog. But on the other hand, if somebody is out there and has a release, he can send the music to us, and we are putting this into our archive as well. But of course, if they are not that well known and our music managers don't know, they don't have that big chance to get into the reference list. But if the music is related from the content side, so from the physical or from the real music side, then it's maybe similar in case of a mood or in case of some rhythm structures or something like that. And this music will pop up in channels other users are using. So the chance is there, but there is no control. We don't make, just as you know from traditional radio, we don't make AA lists, or we don't make rotation, or you can't buy a play. That is something we don't do. So we are really focusing on music, actively choosing, putting it into channels or into our reference lists, training our machine. And there is of course a chance if somebody has really great music that we are discovering this year. So there's always somebody who's running around in our office and telling what he has discovered while he is looking for new music on our stations. And then we are talking about that. And as soon as we are talking about that, then we say, okay, let's put this music into that channel because that's really great. And by myself, I have discovered 2 artists which I think I would never have discovered with another tool. And this is related to the knowledge of the music managers, because this was, I think, one of the music managers was learning guitar in the US, and he read a book about the music guitarists in New York, and that's why he acquired the CD, put it into the archive, and I've listened to a guitar station, and I discovered him, and I was wondering, I never heard about that artist, it's great, it's fantastic. And he was sitting there saying, yeah, I was doing this, I know this artist, I was talking to him in New York. I said, great, fantastic. So at the end, it comes down to the same principle decades ago. So people have to discover music. So it doesn't matter if the people are discovering is why the artist is playing out there, if the artist has a real good blog, or somebody is discovering and telling other people, or we are discovering this year with our knowledge. So always, I think the machine can do something, but at the end, it's people, and people discovering music, and people recommending music. So, but it's more music and it's more difficult than decades ago. That's why.